Warning: the following video contains mild language and violence that may not be suitable for younger audiences below the age of 13. Murder Drones is not a kid show. If you're a kid, then bite me! Greetings, folks. I'm the Cartoon Finder. I'm your personal guide through all your favorite cartoons, and I review them in my own unique personal way. Well, I've done a lot of reviews featuring shows that were made under a big company. Why not go down the indie animation route for a change? And what better way to start things off with Murder Drones, which was released on October 29th, 2021. But I'm not doing this alone. I have someone who has been on this channel twice and is a super fan on this show. Special guest, come on down!
Hey, howdy, hey, ladies and gentlemen. Your boy Briox is in the house.
Yes. After I joined Briox in his recent video, link in the description, I thought he can help me out with this just to make the odds even. Ain't that right, buddy?
Right you are, pal.
Murder Drones was created by Liam Vickers, who made a few animated pilots before creating the show. This sci-fi horror comedy was produced by Australian production company Glitch Productions, which was founded by two brothers named Kevin and Luke Ludwichigal, who created the Gmod sketch comedy SMG4, which recently ended in December of last year. Although I don't have a huge fondness of this series as much as I have for the Amazing Digital Circus, Murder Drones is still worth the watch since it set the stage for Glitch's huge dive into the creative base in the animation world they're known for today. However, this begs the question, how has this series stood on being a hot topic discussion in disguise? Well, let's slice our way in and take a closer look. I might as well set the tone. Far off into the distant future, the human race has been extinguished, and the planet is now inhabited with worker drones, who are a lot like us. One of them is the anguished emo teenager, Uzi Dorman, who has issues.
Bite me!
Alright, calm your servos before they overheat. Anyways, after Uzi discovers a stasis pod that houses 3 murder drones, programmed to kill any worker drones, she stumbles into one of them named N, whom she grows a close bond with. However, things go awry when a conspiracy begins to arise involving Uzi's origin and the real purpose of the murder drones. The two, alongside V, who's another murder drone, will have to uncover the truth and defeat an old enemy that is returning from the shadows to finish what they've started. Did I get that right? Tell me I got it right.
You got that just a good amount of right, whatever that means.
Cool. Alright, where do I begin? Well, aside from this being a different change of pace than with the other shows I'm far familiar with, I will say that the story can be a little hard to get a grasp on during the first few watches, but it will make more sense as each watch goes by. Yes, it is overwhelming with things happening at a breakneck speed, jumping to other story elements without making you process what happened before, and either rushes things or doesn't get to show any spotlight to some of the characters. However, as much as I give some flack to the whole story being so fast-paced, leading to some getting confused, I will say the show does slow down when it needs to have a serious moment, such as Uzi wanting to express her feelings towards N. Not to mention, the story does have some scary moments that you might see in something like The Exorcist or The Shining. Not to mention, there'll be some moments that'll make you go, holy f***ing crap! This show can be very gory without holding back. These kills are super graphic and can make you a little sick to the stomach if you don't like seeing guts and blood. Briox, knowing that you're a super fan of the show, What are your positives and negatives to the show that I might have missed?
To be honest, there was some wasted potential with the Russian-speaking killer doll. See what I did there? Outside of the promenade, she felt more like a plot device and met her end in a very anticlimactic way. Maybe I'll find something else to critique the further we get into this review. Aside from that, I absolutely adored this series. It may not be as thrilling as Sakamoto Days, and it may not be as grand as The Amazing Digital Circus, but what Murder Drones lacks in scale, it more than makes up for it with an endearing cast of characters, a solid blend of horror and comedic elements, sick as hell visuals, and memorable one-liners, including
JC Jensen in space. Sick as hell railgun! Neat. Therapy's fun. And they said pirating all that anime was useless.
Did you just slap me with that arm? I love doing anything.
Quit complicating my murder plan. I hate it here!
That's everyone. -1.
I live in the woods now! Hot topic.
Then we'll stick together.
Don't fucking touch it! Plus, my voice is more like I am a ghost witch. And I'm tall.
Bloody convenient, eh?
Oh yes, get snuck upon.
Spaceship pilot!
Then die mad, bitch!
Let me in, 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 let me in.
You stole that from
The Fade Bray Wyatt!
Lick.
Oh, hell yeah! I'm a damaged OC.
and of course,
Bite me!
I may be getting a bit ahead of myself here, but the series' main antagonist, the Absolute Solver, or better known as Sin, is without question the most adorable villain filled to the brim with pure evil I've ever seen. And that's saying something considering it wore Tessa's own corpse like a skin. Thus, they became Sinessa.
That's something that'll make your skin crawl. Oof. Anyways, I do agree with some of your points here, Briox. Speaking of the characters, we might as well talk about the stars of the show. The main character, Uzi, is an emotionally repressed emo who only likes two things: getting violent and insulting anyone she comes across with. Yet, she learns to be a little more open towards her friends and be in control of her own destiny when she gains her soul powers. Which is freaking badass in my opinion. You know it. Don't doubt it. And, well, he's in. What can I say about him except he's a goofball? Okay, I'll admit, he's my favorite character in the show. I love goofy characters, alright? V can be sharp and violent at first, but she does care for her friends like Uzi and N, and not to mention, she's not that evil, even though she loves to kill anything that moves. Oh, and she's N's first crush, but you know how that turns out. The Murder Drones' leader, Jay, is one big scumbag who doesn't care about anyone but has one thing in mind: total domination. And to also grab a quote from Doll to describe Jay here, I think I got everything with the characters. Briox, what would you say about the characters of Murder Drones besides Sin you've described?
Gosh, I freaking adore N. He's not just my favorite character in the show, but he's one of my favorite characters of all time. And to think this goober is voiced by the same guy who voices a certain rabbit from a certain circus. And speaking of sharing the same voice actor, you might hear some familiar voices from The Amazing Digital Circus. Heck, Elsie Lovelock, the voice of Uzi, went on to voice the Glowing Queen in said series. Which reminds me, my pick for Murder Drone's second best character has to go to Uzi. When I first got into this show, I thought she was a bit too jerkish for my taste, and only really shined in Absolute End. But after rewatching the series twice with you and Alec, I ended up finding her to be a lot nicer than I initially gave her credit for. She may adopt an IDGAF attitude, but deep down she's just as vulnerable as anyone else and needed something to guide her on the right path. Someone who could fill the shoes that her dad could never do. And speaking of our friend's favorite character. Khan and Nora Wakeman from My Life as a Teenage Robot are kinda similar in the sense that they both don't understand their daughters. Just don't show out like this scene. Then along comes N, and both he and Uzi undergo character growth through spending time with each other. N learns to find his self-worth and stand up for himself, kinda like Lincoln and What Is a Person Worth, while Uzi learns that she doesn't have to face her emotions alone. A lovable goofball and a tsundere, they make an inseparable duo. Except for that one time the show pulled the second act breakup cliche and mass destruction, but we don't talk about that. V is an interesting character to say the least. As the Cartoon Finder stated, she can be rough around the edges, but she has a heart of gold beneath that exterior. And she solidified her placement as my third favorite character when she sacrificed herself to save Nusi from the Sentinels in Dead End. Though she managed to tame one of them before returning in the finale to kick Jay's ass.
Did I mention that Briox is a super fan of this show? What's a good animated series without a good style of animation? What I mostly like about this series is the environments it displays. From the world being so desolate and barren after the wiping of the human race, to how the indoor world of the corridors look. Metallic, cold, and dark, but also somewhat filled with a sense of some life whenever the worker drones are in the scene. It doesn't show much of any color besides the cold blue or crimson yellow. Some hints of red is shown here and there as danger is afoot. Like I mentioned earlier with the goriness, this show can get extra creepy with the violence, and it goes to show that you really don't need a human corpse to show graphic content. If you're into that stuff somehow, then you'll get your feel of the graphic violence here. So with that said, what's my favorite episode in this series? Well, to be frank, it is a little hard to pick, since this show does have some good episodes, but it would have to be either Cabin Fever or Absolute End. Cabin Fever pays homage to the old camp slasher films like Friday the 13th or Sleepaway Camp, and it takes advantage of the whole horror aesthetic when Uzi gets her solver abilities. And man, she can be terrifying when she goes rogue. And we get subtle hints that the future episodes are going down a very dark path, such as V's fear when she sees Uzi in her solver form, knowing that Sin is behind this corruption, and in digging deeper to find the truth of what's to come. Absolute End is what a good finale should be. I like that every character has a moment to shine in this blaze of glory, including Sin, who has every moment to be one terrifying villain. Especially, she has some hilarious moments.
Stormy world. God forbid.
One minor complaint I have is that it almost rushes to the end a little too fast, not really giving a moment for Uzi and N to have a moment to make it official. Even though they did confirm they were dating in the episode, but still. The action and the visuals were very impressive, and the music, very hardcore. The song Bite Me is a good final boss song, both the Nightcore and the normal version. Come at me if you disagree. Briox, what's your favorite episodes?
Glad you asked. The Promenading and Absolute End are my picks for the best episodes the show has to offer. While the first two episodes don't show much romantic chemistry between Uzi and N, as in none at all, the former changes that. As a side note, during Uzi's showdown with Doll, the first time she told N to stop saving her, it was out of annoyance. But the second time she said it was only after she noticed the wound around his waist. If that ain't love, then I don't know what is. As for the latter, after 6 episodes of development, it officially makes them a couple. But she don't want no lovey-dovey BS, she wants to murder a planet! Oh, and who could forget the song Fight Till I'm Good Enough by the Living Tombstone.
Before I wrap this review up, I want to give an honorable mention to the bonus content, such as the Murder Drones merch commercials. I'm not sponsored by Glitch, by the way. These ads showcase any merchandise featuring plushies, figurines, t-shirts, etc. I will admit, they're pretty impressive. I do like how adorable these plushies are. I know most of the merch that's at the store online is sold out, but I can find any at a Hot Topic or eBay, a place where all the scalpers reside to drain your pockets.
You look great. You look beautiful as always. No!
Overall, Motor Drones is a very decent indie series with good characters, hardcore action, and a violent body count that makes YouTube's palms sweat nervously. If you're into the horror genre, or like robots throwing insults and killing each other, then this show is for you. While it can get confusing with the story during a few watches, it's easy to grasp if you're a quick learner. And I think that's bloody amazing. Any final thoughts, Briox, before I close it here?
Yes, I am obsessed with Murder Jones' merch promotional material, but if I had to pick a favorite, it would have to be Fitting In at School. While other sketches range from hilarious to chaotic, this one is more character focused above everything else. As the title suggests, it's about N having trouble fitting in at school as a former genocidal disassembly drone. He recruits Uzi and V to make him look cool, but to no avail. In the end, Uzi assures N not to care about what others think of him, which he takes to heart. The friends he was looking for at school have been right beside him all along. But this is the best part. N stands up to turn off the camera and... oh my gosh, I want to hug him so bad. This is too freaking cute! As for the show as a whole, Murder Drones has earned its place as one of the best series I have ever been fortunate enough to see. Alongside Avatar, My Hero Academia, The Amazing Digital Circus, Sakamoto Days, and Amphibia. I love it to death, and I may or may not have cash to burn when it comes to their merch. I feel incredibly normal about this series.
With that said, I'm giving Murder Drones an 8.5 out of 10. While it's not a mind-blowing masterpiece, it makes up for it with visual spectacle and great characterization. Well, that about wraps things up. What are your initial thoughts on Murder Drones? If you haven't seen the show, the playlist to the whole series will be linked down below. Thanks again, Briox, for returning again to help me out. I'll definitely return the favor someday when we meet again. Check him out if you like his sense of humor. The link to his channel is down below.
It's been an honor, Cartoon Finder. I hope you all enjoyed my puns. I guess you can say they were sinfully brilliant. And one more thing, if you haven't listened to the soundtrack for this series yet, what are you waiting for? Do it right now. This is Briox, and until next time,
Bite me!
As for you, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like and comment down below, and be sure to subscribe for more cartoon reviews. Until next time, this has been the Cartoon Finder, and I'll see you all later. Peace out, knowledge seekers.